brought to you by Generation Renewable Inc. To learn how solar energy for your home and business will help you avoid paying high power bills, call 632-2613.
KUAM TV, 65 years of firsts on Guam.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson, celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on primetime, the 27-year-old man accused of murdering a doctor appeared for his magistrate hearing this afternoon. Plus, our Daniel Perez was at the Northern Region Community Health Center, where kids 5 to 11 years old received their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. And senators and mayors participate in a briefing with the U.S. Military Indo-Pacific Command. These stories and more on primetime.
Have a day, good evening everyone. Guahusi Isaiah Uggan, and thanks for tuning in to Guam's News Leader. As friends and colleagues mourn the loss of Dr. Moran Rabadi, the man accused of his murder was scheduled to appear for his magistrate hearing in the Superior Court today. KUAM's Hannah Devonzo has this report.
Dr. Moran Rabadi was an interventional radiologist at the Guam Memorial Hospital for the past 3 years. Shocked and with a heavy heart, the hospital issued a statement saying his talents were undeniable, impeccable, and his passion unparalleled. It went on to state that he will be missed and that counseling services are being provided to staff. As we reported on Sunday, Dr. Rabadi was the victim in a fatal stabbing that occurred at the Poinciana Apartments in Tamuning. The suspect, Akmal Kozeev, was charged with aggravated murder. He was scheduled to be magistrated on Tuesday, but due to technical issues, it was rescheduled. According to court documents, Kozeev and Dr. Rabadi were discussing vaccinations when he became angry. He allegedly wrapped his arms around his neck from behind and began choking him. According to witnesses, Kozeev grabbed an animal bone from the kitchen and struck Dr. Rabadi in the neck. At one point, the victim was able to run away and was chased by Kozeev, who then stabbed him in the neck multiple times with a knife. When police arrived, he allegedly told them, "I killed him." For JJ and Francesca Ambrose, owners and trainers at Steel Athletics, they knew Dr. Rabadi well, as he was a member at their gym. They mourn the loss of their friend.
It was always looking out for us, the gym, and the people around him. I mean, it was just a great person to have around.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Hannah Devonzo.
Kozeev is now scheduled to be magistrated in the Superior Court tomorrow. Guam remains a primary target of China should a conflict escalate with the United States over Taiwan. That was one of the sobering scenarios from a high-level briefing delivered today to local officials by the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command. KUAM's Nestor Lecanto reports.
Top administration officials, senators, and mayors attended the invitation-only briefing hosted by Joint Region Marianas Commander Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson. It was organized at the request of Congressman Michael Sinicolas, who said in a news release that while he has received briefings from Indo-Pacific Command on regional threats, he wanted to extend the same opportunity to local leadership. Among those attending were Republican Senator Jim Moylan, who says our main adversaries remain Russia, North Korea, and China.
They have grown significantly in military might, faster than ever before.
Democrat Senator Talina Nelson also attended. She says China was in focus as one of Guam's biggest threats.
Some of the primary concerns were the growing ability and capability of China, and so that was what they shared with us, and also the capabilities of Russia and also the threat of terrorism.
Moylan adds that China's resolve to assert ultimate control over Taiwan will be a likely flashpoint.
What happens in Taiwan will trigger the importance of our island in this theater. But I'm confident from the presentation given by the Indo-Pacific Command that they are more than aware and they are ready to protect our island.
He says that protection may not come in the conventional sense. While the military has set up anti-missile defense systems here, that may not be how Beijing will attack, at least initially.
Cyber techniques, killing us with isolating us, not having us be able to communicate, which we can see them practicing already, right? And if they can control it that way, then they don't have to take the next step.
The briefing also comes on the heels of an annual Defense Department report to Congress, which reconfirms, among many other things, that Guam is well within reach of a Chinese missile attack. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
The governor has signed the local war claims bill into law again. It's a corrected version of the one she signed previously. Senators removed an amendment that was mistakenly added to the bill. It would have allowed for potentially thousands more claimants by opening the program to all who suffered death or atrocities on Guam during World War II. In her transmittal letter to the Speaker, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero acknowledged that the payment of war claims is imperfect and that no such payment could ever provide adequate redress for the suffering of our people during the Japanese occupation. She said she intends to submit an implementation plan that could result in providing reparations to potentially hundreds of additional claimants who would not have otherwise received them. The bill was intended to address an estimated 700 applicants who missed the deadline for the federal war reparations program. Senator Tello Taidogui to the chorus of lawmakers who aren't satisfied with the administration report on American Rescue Plan funding spending. She's the author of the amendment in the budget bill that requires such reporting. The one-page report submitted by the Budget Bureau shows about $105 million in ARP spending as of October 31st. But Taidogui says her intent was that they provide the legislature with the same information required by the U.S. Treasury.
I mean, they have that information, because they have to accumulate that as well, but they just refuse to give it to the people of Guam and be transparent about it. So I sent a letter specifically pointing that out to Mr. Carlson, that in Section 27 requires that the local ARP funding allocation, that Imagahagan should include an accounting of all ARP funding that has yet to be discretionary, earmarked to the program or activity.
She says she asked for very specific information in her letter to Budget Director Lester Carlson.
It clearly states to them, shows them exactly where I think they fell short and where they continue to be disingenuous with the people of Guam's funding. This is the people's money.
Senator Taidogui is waiting on a response to her letter from Budget Director Carlson. In regional news, CNMI Governor Ralph Torres has had enough. In a scathering letter to Representative Selena Babauta, who chairs the House committee investigating his expenditures, he says he's the only governor in the NMI's history to experience this level of harassment and slander. KUAM's Tomas Miglotnia has the details.
NMI Governor Ralph Torres did not mince words in his November 8 letter to Representative Selena Babauta, who chairs the House Committee on Judiciary and Governmental Operations, which is investigating Torres's expenditures and travel. The governor writes in part, "We cannot allow perpetual harassment and obstruction of the legislative branch onto the executive branch to be a norm." He says he has done nothing wrong. At the end of his 2-page letter, he adds, "No governor has experienced this level of harassment and slander in the history of the CNMI." The governor also pointing out that he has yet to see a committee report submitted to the House Speaker. He proposes that the committee provides a list of questions in writing by Monday, November 15, which he'll respond to in writing explaining the legality and causes for his actions. Torres writes that while the Democrats in the House might not like his answers, he'll only share the truth. In an interview with KUAM, Chair Selena Babauta weighs in.
If he should ever try to invoke any immunity, implied immunity he thinks he may have, that is far greater a danger to democracy than what he claims the JGO committee is doing. I did speak with the legal counsel about it. We don't even need to reply to him, but we may. I'm glad, like I said, he's answering the questions from the media, especially the hard questions the media should ask him, because innocent people don't hide things behind a $150,000 lawyer.
She says they don't plan to submit their questions as requested. She says the subpoena for Torres will be issued by the end of the year. Tomas Manglotnia for KUAM News.
The CNMI governor is expected to address the issue on Friday during his weekly COVID-19 task force media briefing. CNMI lawmaker Sheila Babauta advocating on a global stage and receiving praise from former President Barack Obama at the UN Climate Change Conference in the UK. KUAM's Tomas Manglotnia also has this report.
Several years ago, I asked President Obama a question about the military presence in the Pacific Islands. He answered with, raise awareness, gather allies, and unify voices. I took those powerful words with me and kept them close. They've guided me here.
Saipan lawmaker Sheila Babauta, an Obama Foundation Asia Pacific leader, standing on the world stage at the UN Climate Change Conference in Scotland.
I am at COP26 to raise global awareness and consciousness around ways to protect and heal Mother Earth. I am here to gather allies from and for Indigenous communities around the world. We are not passive victims.
Babauta sharing her mission with world leaders before introducing President Obama.
Thank you, Sheila, for that outstanding introduction and for all the work that you are doing in a part of the world that is feeling the effects of climate change right now. Thank you for making what sometimes can seem a bunch of abstract numbers painfully, immediately real. So we're very grateful for her.
She also joined a 2-hour roundtable with President Obama shortly after his address with a dozen leaders from around the world. In an interview with KUAM, Babauta shares some of the conversations she had with the former president.
And the most specific item on the agenda that I'm advocating for is demilitarization. The U.S. military is the largest consumer of fossil fuels. It is the largest polluter in the world, and we cannot begin to address climate change if we don't address militarization. If not here, then where? Where is the space to speak of militarization for these countries, for the leaders, the big leaders of the world? And if this space exists, I'd like to know so that I can attend.
Her advocacy comes at a time when the region is expecting to see increased military activity, but she says she remains hopeful.
The youth that have been asking me about climate change, and it is because of you that I'm here. So I'm here in Glasgow, Scotland, bringing, the people of the Marianas with me.
Tomas Manglotnia for KUAM News.
You can view the full interview with Representative Babauta on our YouTube page. This afternoon, the team from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention met with public health officials to further discuss the island's dead-on-arrival cases. Public Health Public Information Officer Janella Carrera.
Right now, it's only 2 of the 4-member team that's here. So they're meeting with our ELC, as well as some of our members of our laboratory team as well. And what they're talking about is discussing future expansion of our laboratory. And so I think what they can learn in terms of expansion and laboratory capacity, because the CDC team does come from the States, and they have that expertise and that knowledge, so they'll be able to assist us. And that is something that we do want to do here in Guam, of course, is expand our lab. And so that's what they're specifically talking about today.
Today, or as for the other 2 members, they were at the ITC building in Tamuning working with Public Health's territorial epidemiologist Dr. Ampabuthi gathering data. Today is just one of many vaccination clinics for children ages 5 through 11 to get their first dose of the Pfizer pediatric vaccine. KUAM's Daniel Perez reports.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Good job! Wow, so great, buddy!
Several island children rolled up their sleeves to receive their first dose of the 2-dose series of the Pfizer pediatric vaccine at the Northern Region Community Health Center. Jigo resident Lainey Sablan showed up to have her 4 children vaccinated.
It's something they've been waiting for, with their older siblings being vaccinated. My husband and I are both vaccinated. It's just one more layer of protection for them. They're supposed to go back face to face soon, and it's good. It's been 2 years with COVID, so it's something that we talk about with them, and then with the vaccine being available first to the adults and then to their siblings above 12, So it's something that's been talked about, and talk about being brave, and so they wanted it. They knew they had to be brave.
Although not all parents will have their children vaccinated, Sablon says for her, she's thinking about her kids' safety.
It's something that you have to discuss with your family, and for us, it was the right choice. I can't really speak for other parents because you have to think about your household and what's right for you.
Public Health PIO Janela Carrera said that they will address concerns parents may have with the vaccine.
We partner with institutions like CDC, WHO, so that we have the right messaging out there, the right messaging strategy to the community. One thing that I do want our parents to be reminded of is that, a lot of the COVID-19 cases, sure, in the beginning, were of the adult population, but, we did see COVID-19 cases in our youth, in our younger population as well.
According to Carrera, public health's primary focus now is to get as many children vaccinated as soon as possible. In order for minors to get the vaccine, they must be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian. Parents must have a valid government-issued ID, and guardians must present legal guardianship or power of attorney documentation. Possible side effects your child might experience are tiredness, headache, muscle pains, chills, pain, or nausea. Side effects should go away in a few days. The Northern Region Health Center will continue to give the pediatric vaccine every Monday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and every Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. The Southern Region Health Center will do the same every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Walk-ins welcomed, but appointments will be prioritized. To schedule your child's appointment, go to tinyurl.com/COVID stops with me. Daniel Perez reporting for Guam's News Network.
Daniel Perez, thank you for that report. Once again, we invite you to voice your view with your daily question across our social media pages. Today, we ask, what conversations have you had with your children about the COVID-19 vaccines? We'll share responses on the link tomorrow morning. And stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Yaman, reintroducing the Tuman pans with plenty rice. Every day of the week, Tuman Jamaican Grill has a special for you for $20. Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays features jerk chicken and ribs. Thursdays, the sweet and tangy Jamango barbecue ribs. Friday, check out what we caught for you in our fried local catch. And finally, our weekend family platter is only $50. That's $9 off. Yaman, Tuman pans. Call to order 647-3000 or 4000. Yaman Jamaican Grill.
Serious food. Home, a place where I can go to take this off my shoulders. Someone take me home.
Home. It's more than wood, square footage, and a floor plan. It's where life happens and moments become etched into memories. At Bank of Hawaii, we're proud to help families all across Guam buy and improve their home. Applying takes just a few moments, but the memories last a lifetime. Simplified by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
we are in it for the long run, so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you. Federal employees and annuitants enroll today.
There will come a time when people talk about how Hyundai makes the best car on the road. Now seems about right. The technologically advanced Hyundai Elantra is the 2021 North American Car of the Year.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to hear oral arguments in the United States versus Jose Luis Valo Madera cases earlier tomorrow morning. At the core of this litigation is the Supplemental Security Income, or SSI, program. Madera was eligible for SSI when he was living in New York City, but was ineligible when he moved to Puerto Rico to care for his family. If you live in the U.S. territories like Guam, you are ineligible to receive SSI benefits. In September, Guam Attorney General Levin Camacho co-led a coalition of 18 attorneys general to file a friend of the court brief urging the U.S. Supreme Court to reject the exclusion of Guam and other U.S. territories from the SSI and other nationwide federal aid programs. You can listen to the oral arguments, which is scheduled for tomorrow morning at around 1 o'clock. Local residents may soon be able to see one of the most intact ancient Chamorro Latte sites, even though it is behind military fences. This according to State Historic Preservation Officer Pat Lujan. Lujan tells The Link he's working on a plan that would allow locals to access a pre-Latte era Latte site via guided tours to the area, which is near Fennel Lake on Naval Magazine.
I've got that in writing from the Admiral Nicholson, and he's in support of it. We haven't brought that up in public. This is actually the first time I'm going to be discussing it because we're in the early stages, but it's going to be a really, really neat collaboration. Very similar to like how the National Park Service works with the Navy over at Pearl Harbor and the USS Missouri.
A 2002 archaeological study of Naval Magazine found 50 different significant archaeological sites at the Fena area and determined the area was inhabited by ancient Chamorros as far back as 2,000 years ago. And lattes from Fena were transported for display in the 1950s and were eventually put on display at Angel Sanchez Park in Hagåtña. Shippo Lujan, meanwhile, says the plan to allow locals access to significant latte location may be finalized within a year. The National Park Service will assist in laying out a pathway to the site, which is about 100 yards from the nearest roadway, Lujan said. Congressman Michael St-Nicholas met with Guam Homeland Security Assistant Special Agent in Charge John Duenas, during which he was apprised of drug enforcement efforts on island and opportunities to strengthen agency capabilities. The congressman says he appreciates the candid assessment provided by SAC Duenas relative to federal and local drug enforcement efforts and needs, wholly focused on action necessary for us to reverse the rampant drug problem on Guam. He adds he looks forward to bringing greater federal agency support for efforts here at home and identifying more resources for our local agencies to fight the good fight for the people of Guam. Celebrate Veterans Day this year by taking a journey into the rich history of the island. On Wednesday and Thursday, Valley of the Latte will welcome all veterans and active duty military personnel on their Adventures River Cruise tour free of charge. Visitors will glide across Guam's rivers, explore the lush botanical garden, access ancient Chamorro Latte sites, and animal sanctuary, and so much more. While admission is free, there will be a $15 lunch fee for their fiesta-style barbecue lunch plate. All guests accompanying personnel can experience the tour at military or resident rates. Morning tours begin at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and space is limited. You can book your reservation online at valleyofthelatte.com or contact them at 671-789-3342. Sports is up next with Dave Delgado. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
Hey guys!
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right?
I wonder why. What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys? Yeah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
Hafaday, this is Congressman Nicholas. If you are a small business, you may be interested in a federal program called the State Small Business Credit Initiative. This program can provide federal funds to match equity investments into your company or help you get lower interest rates at local banks. To find out more on how this program can help your small business, please contact your Guam Congressional Office at 475-6453 or at michael.snicholas@mail.house.gov.
This ad was paid for with official funds from the Office of Congressman Michael F.Q. San Nicolas.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
NBA basketball coach Terry Stotts was inducted to the UOG Athletics Hall of Fame. Coach Stotts was part of the 2021 class who were honored at the Manilao campus. Coach Terry is the son of former UOG basketball coach and Triton Athletics Hall of Fame member Frank Stotts. Terry played for the Tritons from 1973 to 1974 at the young age of 16, during a time when Triton athletes didn't have to be UOG students. In the one season that he played, he was named MVP of the Guam Basketball League and led the Tritons to an undefeated season.
I remember the friendships I had. Some of them are lifelong friendships from Dedido Junior High and JFK, but obviously I think mostly about what happened for me in basketball, both at Dedido Junior High and at JFK and UOG. And it's, like I said during my speech, it's kind of like the foundation of my basketball career.
Stotts went on to play and coach at the professional level in Spain, Italy, and France, and nationally in the Continental Basketball Association and the National Basketball Association, recently ending a 9-year stint as head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers.
The sense of community that Guam has, whether it's the villages or the Chamorro heritage, it is ingrained in the culture of Guam, and certainly being exposed to that at an early age, going to local fiestas and going to someone's house and developing the friendships on the court, it did lay a foundation of what sports can do for a person, but also community.
Since 1992, he has also been head coach for the Atlanta Hawks and the Milwaukee Bucks and assistant coach for several teams, including the Dallas Mavericks when the team won the NBA title in 2011.
My dad was the most influential person in my basketball career, and obviously in my life as well, I guess, but I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. He pushed me as a coach, he pushed me as a father, he made me into the player and the person that I am. But what he did for Guam basketball was deserved as far as his Hall of Fame induction, because he pioneered international travel. He was taking the team UOG to Japan and the Philippines and Taiwan to play basketball and bringing teams here. He was always looking for ways to develop Guam basketball, and during his tenure as coach of UOG, I think that was obviously the golden age for me, was because it was the formation of what was to come, and Guam basketball has certainly taken off since that point, but to me, he was the pioneer of Guam basketball.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
You are everything that matters to me, and I promise to do whatever it takes to keep you healthy, to be comfortable, and to be free. I love you. As long as we're together, I'll always make sure that home will always be our best place to breathe.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
At the Boca Box, we understand that everyone is different, which is why our meal plans are designed to fit different lifestyles. Whether you need easy and convenient meals because you're on the front lines, breaking personal records, or just trying to live a healthier lifestyle, we have a meal plan for you. Our meals are made with the most fresh, all-natural ingredients that are always grain, gluten, and refined sugar-free. Spend less time cooking and more time living. Call us at 922-BOCA, visit our website, or stop by our cafe in Hagåtña to start your meal subscription today. The Boca Box, real nutrition made daily.
Welcome back to KUAM's Prime Time. Every Tuesday leading up to Giving Tuesday on November 30th, we will be showcasing some of the island's nonprofit organizations and causes that the community can assist with. Here is tonight's Giving Every Tuesday story featuring Vice Mayor of Manilao, Kevin Delgado.
My name is Kevin Delgado from the village of Manilao, and this is my giving story. So there are many charitable organizations on our island, and they do such a great job. But for me, I'm going to talk about the Ministry to the Homeless, which was originally called Cocina and Camel and Caridad. And before that, it was Camel and Caridad, and before that was Guma San Francisco. And I'm going to take it all the way back there. That's where my story of giving begins. I belong to a faith community in Manilao called Santa Teresita. And there, a group of people came together, including my grandma and my grandpa, and they actually started up KUAM's homeless shelter a couple of decades ago. I was too young to actually see our homeless families come and eat, but I remember going there to drop donations, to help them cook, and then I would just head home. I was very, very curious about who exactly these people were that needed our food and our donations. So as the years progressed, I got more involved and I started asking, can I start to volunteer? Can I bring in some people to decorate for the holidays? Can I start up some canned food drives and some other necessities drives? And then eventually I took a lead also with getting volunteers and donors throughout the course of the year. So I like their story. I like their mission because it's every day that there are people that are hungry. And unless the governor says we have to all shut down, they feed every single day of the year. Now I'm actually helping with getting volunteers. It used to be a couple of times a year. Now it's a couple of times a month, maybe even multiple times in a month, and for special occasions. So I am moved by their mission, and I hope that you are moved by this story. If you'd like to assist on this Giving Tuesday, it takes a very little amount of effort. First, you got to give us a call. And then secondly, all you need to do is prepare 50 to 75 prepackaged meals, at least a starch, a meat or two, a salad, dessert, and a bottle of water. And we'll give them back their dignity. At least they have something to eat. That's something that's constant, one thing that's constant throughout this uncertain times. So if you'd like to help us out at the Ministry of the Homeless, be a part of our giving story.
And before we close out the news tonight, it's now time to wish those born on November 9th a happy birthday.
We want to send super duper happy birthday wishes out to Elijah and Sophia Mignolite, who celebrate birthday number 10, double digits. Congratulations, guys. Happy 10th birthday to our terrific twins. Double the celebration. Nice. Love you, Nino, aka Nunu, and the family. And Florence S. Bora. Happy birthday to the world's best grandma. We hope you have an awesome day and we love you so, so much. This shout out is coming from Rihanna Flo and Jaylene. So the three of you, Elijah, Sophia, and Miss Florence, we hope each of you has a happy birthday, good health, good blessings, and a good day.
That's going to do it for us here on Primetime this Monday evening. Guahusi Isaiah Uggan, we thank you so much for watching. Have a safe night.
Howfit everybody, I'm Sabrina Salas Matanani. Welcome to Health, Home, and Lifestyle. With the Department of Public